这个是电箱，旁边的水管，一楼车库，楼上面讲的排污管，这个是厨房的洗手盆的位置，这是抽油烟机的位置。 2楼的公用的那个洗手间，这类抽风的位置。空调管，3楼。 2楼，这是2楼。
And then just so you know what these are called shorings. If you see how we have these big pallets of drywall, basically this stuff weighs a lot.
这个是主人房的洗手间。
So this is going to be where we'll be and then the toilet room will be right here. So this is going to be where we. And then your primary bath has your 4 can lights, and then all of your plugs around the perimeter at the floor level. And then so like if you guys wanted to put your head right here, you guys can put like a little stand there, a little side desk. So like if you guys wanted to put pictures or what chargers or whatever. This is a pretty small area, so sometimes we have to go over there. The big thing to see is that they're not tinted, so that they aren't like basically smushed. So like you can kind of see right there how they're bendable. So the outside is your actual. Here we can actually look at this guy right here. You guys have all of this right here, and then you.
这个是那个空气循环类循环的。
So if you see right here, it is like this. It's still okay because it's just the exterior. Like this stuff right here, that's bending. You still have your circular duct right here, and then this is like your copper lighting for the flex that basically keeps it shape, so that even if it does bend, it's not kinking the entire duct. If that makes sense. So you can see right here, you have your. Oops, sorry. You're good. You have your lining right here, your insulation, and then you have your actual duct inside of it. Yeah.
这个是洗衣房旁边的房间。 这里这个水管做得特别的小心，如果它把它固定到那个 stud 上的话，就打钉子的时候不要打到。
So right here, this is going to be your main riser. This is your sub riser for your water. So right now, to have it open, you would have both of these nozzles right here up, so it's in line with the pipe, right? If you wanted to close it, you would just close both of these right here and then right here, and that would turn off all the water. Just as a heads up though, this is connected to your fire sprinkler system, so I believe you'd only turn off one in order to actually keep the water system with water in it. But we'll go over that through the final, when we do our final walkthrough. We'll go through all of this one more time just so that we can explain it again. But this is going to be your riser to the water, and then this is going to be your main fire system. Yeah. So this is pretty much the gauge that tells you that the lines are going to be pressurized with water. So when we get upstairs, you'll see water on the floor because basically they're testing the sprinkler to see if there's any leaks. Any leaks in the piping. So you'll see water dripping down right below the shower heads, or not the shower heads, but the fire sprinkler heads. So it'll be like these guys, but it'll be upstairs. They're not testing the garage right now, but it'll be the guys. Okay.
Water go through this first and then.
Yes, that's exactly how it works. Actually. So I'm just gonna open these back up again, and this right here will be a hose bib for you guys. If you guys ever want to wash out your garage or something like that, you guys can use a hose bib right here.
So if like have some accident, we only turn this on. Right?
Yes, you can turn them both off. You can turn them. To be honest, if there's ever a leak, it's best to honestly open it all up and then flush out the system with this guy right here, so that you get all of the water out of the pipes, and then also your fire sprinkler system. So you leave this, or you close this, turn on your hose bib, and then also drain out your fire sprinkler lines to find out where the leak is. If you guys ever did see a leak with the drywall, right? So you just basically want to get all the water out of the line so that no water continues to leak. If that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. So we'll go over that one more time in the final. But that's how you would basically drain out the system so that the leak can stop. Okay. Right here, this is going to be the sub panel box. This is where all of your breakers are going to go, as well as a few in this back main panel on the exterior. So when we actually get everything in right here, you can see all of your lines right here, but we haven't put in your breakers yet. We're just not quite ready. So when we get in all the breakers, it'll all be labeled for you guys on this panel as well as the main panel right here. Yeah. So that's where you'll be able to click back and forth all of your breakers for everything inside the house. Okay.
This is 200, right?
I think it's more.
Huh?
I believe it's more.
More.
I think it's more.
So
I think this is actually done by amps, not volts.
Oh.
So it's just a different category. There's volts and then there's amps. So I believe that this is actually going to be amps, which is more than 220 volts.
Oh, okay.
So I'd have to double check this, but I believe it's actually more power.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. So I'll check up on that and then we'll go over that one. So right here, this is going to be your telecommunications panel. So on the exterior, when we're done with the entire house, this is going to be the panel on the other side that your internet company will come out and actually install all of their subnets. So just as a heads up as well, we do have AT&T and Spectrum, and you can get fiber. We do have fiber option here as well. So if they do ask when you want to install your internet, you do have fiber as well. It's just better internet. Oh, and you could probably get that probably through AT&T up there. Yep.
So you'll be from a box?
You'll open it from the outside. Oh. You'll open it from the outside. It's just we have all this staff going on, a lot of construction on the exterior that it's a hassle. So real quick also, you're going to have all kinds of plugs right here, all throughout the room. And those are just if you guys want to use like tools, or if you want to set up a desk in here, you guys will have plenty of outlets for that as well.
Yeah. Okay. But EV cars.
Oh yes, actually. So right here, this is going to be your conduit for your electrical vehicle. So a big thing to know when do you have like a Tesla or
I don't have.
no? Okay. Well, either way, for the EV, all you're going to need is actually the wiring and then the charger itself. So what we do for you guys is actually wrap this into the main panel and give you breaker space, because sometimes when you do get the EV installed, if you don't have this, they actually have to charge you extra to make the hole in the drywall, put the box in, line the conduit, and then do all of their wiring, right? So all you would need is probably like about 2 feet of Romex is what it's called, and then that would be it. Like if they tell you like, oh yeah, we're going to need 10 feet, you can see that's not right. It'll just be like this 2 feet call it from the conduit up into the main panel box on this side. So that's where you would install your conduit charger.
But you will install this one, right?
Yes, this is going to stay installed, but we do not install the wiring and then the actual charger itself. That is done through the people who actually supply the charger. So it'd be like Tesla.
But the city inspection, they are not request for that, right?
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The city does inspect that pretty much the conduit is in place correctly and that it's lined to the breaker panel correctly, but because we don't actually put any electrical wiring inside, they don't check this because we just put it there. So they'll check to see that the conduit is good, or the box sees it and that the conduit is good, but other than that, that's all they can do. Yeah. But yes, all of this is inspected by the inspectors.
But if we need to install this one, we don't need to apply for the city permit, right? No? Okay. Great.
So we went over this stuff. These are going to be some of your drains right here. You see they cut a lot like it's a slightly different material than you see for like it's like a cast iron. It's like cast iron. You're going to have another charger right here, and then you can see kind of your hold rounds that are basically tied into your foundation that takes the structural load from the top all the way down and transfers the load into the slab, right? So your concrete slab. And these are your hold downs, and then your anchor posts right here that go into the slab. That's how we make your home structurally sound. That's how we transfer the load from the top all the way down. And then for your horizontal load, for the chain rail, you'll see a bunch of shear walls like this, right? The shear wall is what controls all the load that might move horizontally. So we have all your framing coming down into the slab for the vertical load, and then for the horizontal load, we have your shear wall right here. So that basically stops we live in earthquake country, right, in Southern California. So your shear walls is what protects you. Okay. This is going to be where your water heater goes. This is your ice box. So it does act as a support, but it also acts like a drain. So all water will come down and drain into here, as well as supplying water to the rest of your house when the water heater is installed from the water heater. Okay. Right here, this is going to be your switch for your light right here. You'll have a light right here, and then it'll also control so it'll probably just be controlling 2 lights, and then this right here will be where your clicker goes for your garage door, right? So you see how like there's this spool right here? It's the same spool that's right here. So that's pretty much how they line up to your garage door motor, and then that's how they basically connect it.
Like the rubber heater kit, right?
Yes. That's going to be for actually your water heater. That'll be for your water heater. So realistically, you won't be able to use those two. To be honest with you, they'll be taken up for your water heater.
We're doing, typically we don't do anything about it.
No. The water heater maintenance, there probably will be a maintenance that's roughly anywhere from like a year to a year and a half. But the water heaters that we use here are different, so I'll take up notes on that as well. So your solar will actually go right in there. So they have a sub mount where basically they put in your sub panel for your solar, and then that basically communicates with your panels on the roof, and then gives you pretty much all of your credit from Edison. So it'll be a sub panel box that's probably going to be around here. The big thing I'm looking for is you see this pink cable? That's pretty much everything for your solar. So we might not even have that installed quite yet, actually, because that's sent through our roofers, and that comes in at the very end, basically. So I don't believe we actually have your solar, your sub-panel box installed yet for your solar. So it'll be like an actual plug like that, but for your solar. So that'll probably be on one of these walls right here. It'll probably be like right there. So they'll bring it down from the roof, come through that gap right there, that bay, and then route it into here.
Okay.
And then if you guys want to head inside. So right over here, this is going to be your front entryway, right? So you'll have your doorbell right here. This is where your doorbell's going to be. And then you'll have your plugs right here, your switches, to turn on all of these lights right here and then both. Yeah. And then moving into your first bedroom right here. You guys are going to have all of your HVAC completed, obviously, but this will be routed. And then you'll probably have a can right about here. So it'll be inside of this bay right here. But they put this up, and then they'll put a can similar to like that. You see that can right there? Yeah. So they'll put a can right here. Okay. So as you can see, you have like a bunch of plugs around all of the perimeter of your room as well. So you're going to have this one, that one, and then one right here. And then you'll have a low voltage box as well, which I don't think has been installed. They're doing all the low voltage as well. So it'll basically be an internet router, or so that you can plug in to get internet with an Ethernet plug. Yeah. So the big thing to know about that though is that when you do get your router, you should get all this splicing so that you can basically route and get all the internet in all of the rooms. Because I'll show you the sub panel box upstairs. You have to individually connect that into the router so that you get internet in here in all your rooms. So I'll show you that when we get upstairs inside the room. Okay. So you're gonna have also your 4 can lights right here. You have a couple water lines that go into your bathroom that you can kind of see. That's what he's working on right over here. He's strapping everything down so that nothing moves. Let's say there wasn't a leak or something like that. Everything has to be actually bolted down so that nothing moves. And then you can see right here as well, we have your fire sprinkler head. Right. So that's going to be your fire sprinkler head. And then that can right there, the blue one at the right above your door, is going to be your smoke detector.
Oh,
yes. That one right there, that'll be your smoke detector.
Which one?
This one right there.
Oh.
Yes, that one. That'll be the smoke detector.
And
then these are your 4 can lights.
These are lights. Okay.
Yes, these are lights. And then that one by the door is going to be your actual smoke detector. And then that's going to be your fire sprinkler head right there.
So smoke detector doesn't use battery.
It does use a battery. It does use a secondary battery. It's part of actually the fire marshal code that they do have for the secondaries. And then right here, this will be your closet door as well. This will be your closet. And that's pretty much everything for this one. We want to move on to the water. So if you turn this around, you can see your hot water line in here. Yeah. So we have to actually insulate all of your hot water lines as well, your supply lines.
But
and then this one's cold, so we don't have to. Yeah.
Hot water, but this is kind of like a rubber or plastic.
This one's okay. It's actually just going to your toilet. Yeah. So you'll have your toilet, your sink, and then your shower enclosure right here. So you'll also have one light above the shower, and then one light above your I believe this is actually going to be a cabinet. So I'm not entirely sure if it's either a pedestal or a cabinet. We can find that out for you. I have your options right here.
And then for the hot water, you see the tube is also like this.
Yes.
It doesn't expand such a
this
sustainable long
Yes.
time use?
Yes. So basically, there is slight expansion, but because of the fact that this is movable and moldable, essentially, it'll expand with it. And when the flex, this is the flex, expands, it's normally like maybe an eighth of an inch, quarter of an inch or so. So it doesn't expand very much. So it stays very similar, but that's actually something most people don't know, is that with the hot water, sometimes these do expand. Yeah. So no, that's good.
About all these connections.
Yeah.
You are going to test.
Yes. We are required by the city to actually run all these lines and put water inside of them so that we make sure that there aren't any leaks, mainly with the couplings. If you're going to have a leak, it most likely won't be here. It'll be at these couplings, these fittings right here, where the connections are made, and then we have our T's right here. This is your T. Normally, if you have a leak, it'll be here or in this area, right? So the good thing about this system is actually we put all of your T's, for the most part, in water areas. So we have a special type of drywall called green board that's actually meant for water areas. So we put that in, and that's actually resilient towards water as well. So that's how we actually control the if there was a leak, essentially. But yes, we are required to water and pressurize all of these lines to make sure that there aren't any leaks.
How many years volunteer for that?
I believe it's like 5 to 10 years. It's everything inside of the walls is for 4 years, and then for water intrusions, being like leaks into like the exterior and then the roof is covered for 10 years, as well as everything foundationally. So that's actually something that we'll go over in our NHO, where we talk about your 1-year fit and finish warranty, your 4-year warranty for everything inside of the walls, and then your 10-year warranty for all water intrusions and structural features as well.
Oh.
Okay. So you can kind of see too what this paper is right here. This is your waterproofing that goes behind your tub deck. Because it's on an exterior wall, we have insulation behind this, and then we're required to put our tie deck paper so that it's water resilient behind your right here, this will be your what's called a fart fan. It's basically just your fan right here for like humidity or for smells or things like that. So you can actually see this metal ducting comes right here, and then it wraps back around and then out to the exterior. So if you were wondering if the smell is going to the exterior, it is.
I see.
Yeah, so you can see how it comes out right here. And we'll put on the outside what's called an eyebrow. It'll be like what looks like a triangle. It's a vent so that basically you don't see like the metal duct, if that makes sense. But that's how we export all of the bad air outside of them. Okay. Sounds good. Okay. That's pretty much everything here. You guys want to go up to the second floor?
Yeah. Let's see.
Your flooring on top of it. So what that means is when we come and do something called marking them, they'll basically plane the floors and then cut out if there's like any holes in the wood floor. They'll cut those out and replace them with new pieces so that your floor isn't bumpy and wobbly. So this your joists are what supports your actual floor sheathing right here, if that makes sense. So basically your joists are ran from there. This beam, there's a beam underneath that shear wall right there that structurally comes down into these openings right here, and then transfers all the way through over here. So you have this wall being a load-bearing wall where all the joists sit here, and then as well as on this wall. So you can see where, like for example, like right there, the joist sits on top of the actual wall right here. So that would be considered a load-bearing wall.
Okay. Okay.
This is wall.
这个你看到没？这是
In
钢
this guy.
这块木头没？这斜坡的木头它这么硬吧？这块还这大木头，这木头有底子，木头是刮花板，你看刮花板这么薄，木头这么厚，哎，我听说那大立柜吧，两木头，你看这哎这么多厚多紧，
他有要求的。
他这肯定也合适，按照设计标准。
So, as you can see, the joists actually change direction, right? So the way that we support the third floor is by having the joists come over here, and then they connect, and then we use what's called a hanger, that metal clip right there, connecting the joists into this beam right there. This beam is also connected to the stairs, and then transfers down the load. So you can see how your joists come over, they connect into this beam, and then they sit over there as well, on top of this wall right here. That's how we make sure that everything in the second floor is structurally sound as well. All right, so you guys can actually see right here, these are also going to be drains. And they basically take out all the dirty water from your bathrooms. Yes, sir. Exactly. Okay. And then this is going to be your guys' kitchen right over here. Just so you know, that is going to be where your refrigerator is. You see where it says the sous chef hot box debris cover? That's where your ice box is. So that's your refrigerator. Yes, exactly. So you guys will basically just be able to plug that into what your installers will do it, but they'll connect their water lines into there, and then you guys can get ice, you guys can get water as well. You guys will have a bunch of books right here as well. So those will actually be right above or actually inside of your backpack. I believe they'll actually be inside of your backpack. You'll have all these plugs coming around, and then right over here, this is where your sink is going to go. And then, yes. So this will be your sink, and then also your dishwasher in this area as well. So that right there is going to be your box that we plug in your garbage disposal, and then also the dishwasher. Okay. Yep. Yep, lots of plugs. And then this black pipe right here is actually the drain for the sink. So they'll come down, they'll put in their P-trap, and then it'll connect into here and then drain down. Yeah. Okay. Right here, you guys will also have an HVAC register right here, so that you guys get your fresh air coming into your kitchen, and then you'll see a few boxes around your living area.
And then for the rate food, right?
Yes. There'll be a rate limit. That hasn't been put in yet. So it'll either be on that wall, or I do believe it'll be. Oh, that's your range box right there. So we'll be installing a range limit either where that blue box is, or the other thing. So that is where we'll put in the range, and then that's where it is. And that'll carry out all the exhaust output.
For the AC,
Yes. Yes. Your AC. So we'll talk about your AC more specifically when we get over there, because that's where your actual your thermostat will be. So I believe actually it's going to go on this wall. They just have this wall. So you'll have your thermostat right about here. So this is where your thermostat will be. Your thermostat, just as a heads up, you guys have a 2-zone system. So what that basically means is you'll have your thermostat here, and then you'll have one more on the 3rd floor. So this one right here will control the 2nd floor, and then the 1st floor. And then the one on the 3rd floor will just control the 3rd floor. Yes. So you can actually turn on your AC system for your 1st and 2nd floor only, or you can turn on your 3rd floor system only. It's up to you guys how you guys want to use the system. So say you guys are like just getting out of bed, and you guys are just going to be down here for the weekend or something. You guys can just turn on this one, and it'll actually save you guys energy from having to turn on the 3rd floor as well. It won't be turning on the entire system.
That's
So
great.
yeah. So it's very good for saving money as well. So you're going to have a 2-zone system. So. And then when we go through and we have all of your thermostats installed, we'll show you guys how to use them as well.
okay. Yep. Of course.